So welcome to a brand new webisode. It's Tuesday, July 5th. Had a great 4th of July yesterday. My dad and stepmom are visiting until later in the week and just had a nice time hanging out together. Went over and saw the Marana fireworks, and I had to say, boy, it's a good thing that we spent all that time in all the different communities, towns and cities, banning those fireworks, because certainly it didn't rain for like 2 days with the monsoons, which happens every year, right? Wow, nothing burnt down, by the way. So I wanted to make sure that I covered this now, because I'll get to it when I get back on the show next week, Wednesday. But the buffoonery, the buffoonery in the vortex of stupid is reaching a fever pitch, and it happens to be happening while I'm on vacation. So I just need to address this real quick. So there's an article in the Arizona Daily Star today talking about how the city council is going to take up the issue of the funds that the different wards have, the different city council members have, the discretionary funds, which in the past have been used for things like Habitat for Humanity. They've gone to nonprofit groups. They've been used for arts and reality programs. Regina Romero spent $5,000 for that program that teaches kids how to use spray paint cans to do, legal graffiti. Okay, so the council members have been using this money for what they want to use it for years. As a matter of fact, at one point, one of the former, Steve Leal, former city council member, used it to give it to Coalition de Derechos Humanos to bring in an author who wrote a book about hate radio and shock jocks back when there was a height of controversy around my show and there was a boycott going on. So Steve Kozachik suggests using his ward money to go and fix roads in his ward. And the minute he does that, Karen Ulick steps in and says, oh, no, we should be allocating the money to where we all think is the best and appropriate use. We should pool all of our money. They've never done this before. Now, here's what's interesting. You go into, the Arizona Daily Star has an article talking about how they're going to take up the issue on the same day that they put up a Karen Ulick special to the Arizona Daily Star. Money saved by city ward offices should go into shared pot. Listen to what she has to say, though. Here's your problem with socialism. Let me be clear about why I do not favor ward-by-ward allocations of taxpayer money. Most elected officials do not abuse the power associated with the old system, but some have. Service and infrastructure dollars can end up in areas with high voter turnout instead of those with the greatest documented need. Let me stop here real quick. First off, it's not the old system because they haven't adopted the new system. It's the current system. It is the system. It's not an old system. It's just the system that they've always used. And as far as areas with high voter turnout, elections have consequences. I mean, high voter turnout could change from election cycle to election cycle based on how well the party has done getting the word out to get people to go and vote. No, she's unhappy about this. She's unhappy with the fact that Steve Kozachik saved the most money this year. Oh, see, now Steve K has too much of an opportunity to look good. She would rather go and throw all the rest of the city council members under the bus, but what I mean by that is essentially hurt the rest of them to ensure that Steve Kozachik doesn't look any better than he already does. Take away the ability of all of the city council members, Kozachik being the only one who's a Republican, to be able to spend the money how they'd like, and make sure that Steve K can't look good in doing what he wants to do with his money. Heaven forbid the city council member for a particular ward actually ends up using the taxpayer dollars to, make the taxpayers happy. But it does all come down to politics. I do not think Councilmember Steve Kozachik would in any way abuse the privilege of that spending. He makes good points, and that deserves consideration. Here's where it gets interesting, though. I remain open to that conversation, yet I'm concerned about breaking from the path we're on toward a more objective and coordinated method of ensuring core services and infrastructure nationwide. They're on no path. They've never changed this policy. She only brought it up when she realized that Steve Kozachik actually saved his discretionary funds and was going to use it to help the people in his ward, which is what it's supposed to do. Yeah, this is your problem with your socialism. It's Green Party Karen. I sit back and I just go, oh. Because sadly, people will follow right along with her. They go, yeah, you know, boy, she's got a really good point there. Yeah, you know, we should pool all that money together. Interesting side note, I got sent this link. This is, there's a new group on Twitter. Well, I don't know how new it is, but it's new to me. I just found it. It's called The Leftist Group. We're a group of diverse leftists dedicated to creating a publication which will tackle topics that are deliberately ignored by the privately owned mass media. Listen to some of the comments that are made on here. These are tweets by this leftist group. It is time to see the absurdity of a rich man living in the mountains looking at a lake while his workers slave all day. It is time for artists to start creating murals in the streets instead of longing for their work to be cocooned in the homes of the rich. It is time for authors to start writing manifestos for the people instead of pedantic novels with the same old plots. It's time to think of communal living instead of idolizing the sickening isolation of the rich. It's time to stop dilly-dallying in nonsensical questions of ideological particularity and to start acting as a collective with a cause. One more for you. It is time to ask the rich, how many cars do you really need? How many mansions can you possibly live in? Yeah. Tweets made by Karen Ulick. No, I'm just kidding. It's the leftist group, but they might as well have been. It's thinking like that and people like Karen Ulick that keep Tucson from being a thriving, successful city that families want to move to. My dad and I were driving. We went down to the movies yesterday at the Elcon Mall, and I took him down to the downtown area. And he's just looking around, and he's going, wow, this is kind of run down, isn't it? I said, yeah, it is. And that was downtown. All right, I'm back from vacation July 11th. Thanks for watching. J.D. Hayworth filling in on a Wednesday show. And then you got James T. Harris Thursday and Friday. But I am on Twitter and email if you want to email me. justice@1041thetruth.com. And then Twitter and Facebook. John, J-O-N, Justice. I hope you're happy. I hope you had a good 4th of July. And so far my vacation's going well. I'm glad I still have a lot of it left.